Yeah.
But it is a very greedy kind of core lineup here from New Esports, right? Like, you've got these three heroes, you've got the Rubik, Clockwork, Sand King, who aren't so greedy. They love to run around and fight.
So that's one thing EDZ has to be pretty conscious about. Of course, on the bot lane as well, you've got Candyloon and Barry up against Gabby and March on the Chen. And it's that offlane Sand King again. You know, Candy's doing an okay job, 5-0 so far. Did opt for the Sandstorm Caustic build. But without that stun, that doesn't mean you're going to get kill opportunities.
Top lane, Mosin does go down. Now Yamate going to get a trade on the Gyrocopter, and KP just leave it at that, but he does secure first blood on our Bloodseeker.
They're just rewarded. They're not being punished for these greedy movesets.
They are not. Heroes up top now from TNC. Armel going to join in. They want to go after Yamate with the toss in from Tims, and oh, Yamate, it's going to be hard to get out of this one. The boat to fly in, and he is almost certainly just gone. Mosin just staring from a distance, not knowing what to do to help him out.
Mosin and Barry are just level 3. They can't really stop two cores going at mid straight away. And like, they're actually just going to go for a rotation. Have some good wards to spot DDZ out.
They have the Rupture. DDZ, if he takes the Rupture, he's in trouble, and he waveforms away. He was strength morphing, but Gabby is happily going to start taking stats away. Bloodright is there with the boat to fly in, and DDZ has no chance of survival. Another great rotation out from TNC, and they're just going to go back mid. They just can't afford to try for this, so they're going to have to back off again.
Yeah, it's small movements like that that are pretty costly. It is buying time for the two bigger cores to farm up, but then you have Candy not doing anything. Look at Yamate now.
Oh, Yamate, he's been ruptured up again. Tims still has the toss. He just hasn't used it yet, and will toss it back into KP.
Oh, it's beautiful.
What a combination. That's all the way from Dota 1, John.
They've stayed disciplined. They're staying on their side of the map, slowly farming up. The key thing here for New Esports is that their tier 1 is still alive. So as long as they keep that alive, they can maintain that jungle control, but TNC, they're not looking to keep that up for long.
Oh, hookshot in Mosin. It's a great hookshot out with 2 in the cogs. Bloodright's going to be there. Mosin, he is melting quick. He needs help. Well, the X-Boat is going to fly in with the Rupture out on Candyloon, so he can't Burrow Strike in again. And Mosin, maybe just a bit early there. Bloodright is going to be out. Tims looking for a toss back on Candyloon, but Sentry is going to be placed. They get the torrent off as well. Candy's in trouble, but gets the Burrow Strike in time. Still Hand of God, keeping Tims alive. He is not dead yet. The waveform's going to miss. They do finally kill him off. Now Yamate, he's in big trouble. He does go down to KB. Armel, he'll get the X off onto DDZ with the torrent follow-up, and Gabby back to stealing stats. We'll let it go. Back toward that tier 1. In fact, no, Mosin, he goes again on the Clockwork. But we'll let it go, and that tier 1 tower is as good as gone. Still New Esports now. They do have the Blink Dagger coming out on Candyloon, and that could be really game-changing here. But he does need a level to get his epicenter up.
Take that.
And at this point, I think if you're Candyloon, you do want that level 1 epicenter ASAP, but Mosin goes for a hookshot onto Tims. Tims waiting it out. Armel is just behind. They'll toss Mosin back. Still, Tims does get focused down, but now Mosin going to cop a boat right to the face. Is it going to be enough? Not quite. Burrow Strike in. Now the stolen boat out from Barry. Back into the side of TNC, but they don't mind. They'll keep fighting. Candyloon, he is dropping very low at the moment. Still trying to run, but he has no way out. He's gone. The call down though. Out onto Gabby, but he'll shadow dance. Back onto DDZ. He'll waveform through, going after March. Now KP's in trouble. He'll make a run for it, but it looks like he is going to go down. And that was some great play out from Barry John. Stolen boat and then stolen Bloodright.
Enabled them to get the damage out, and you can see New Esports in the right conditions. When TNC is not fully grouped up together, and when they lose March early, it can go a bit messy for them if they're not careful.
Oh, Barry. Bit out of position there, Barry. Trying to farm that mid wave, but perhaps assuming TNC would have backed off by this point. Still, they're going to try and get a trade here onto Armel, and that'd be a massive one. Hand of God does come in. Armel does run away. Now the Rupture is out onto Yamate, but he's going to go for a TP attempt. KP does not have a Yules up, but they get the X in time. Mel's going to bring it back into the Bloodrite and the Torrent. Here comes March and Tims. The Avalanche is there. Yamate, he's gone. Candyloon now with the Epicenter going onto Mel, but the boat's going to fly in. It won't be enough, but it does stun up too. Now Gabby there to join his team. Will go after Mosin. No, make that Candyloon as they already get Mosin. Do they have detection? No, they do. They do.
Oh,
everything's fine.
Oh, it was a tourist. He got clipped right at the end to drop into tourist range.
Gabby working towards that Eye of Skadi now. That Roshan, they're actually not going to go for it all the way. They haven't got the quick damage. They're going to smoke up and run straight into new esports. Rupture going to be out onto Mosin. KP just going to run straight forward. Mosin's been left behind. Back Tims, he's going to go for more now. Catches out Barry and DDZ. He's going to get X'd up into the Torrent boat of Mel. KP there, no Bloodrite available, but Candyloon, he comes in with the Epi Burrow. Yamate trying to fight back, but look at the hills out from March. He's not letting anyone die here. Candyloon, he's gone. Yeah, Tims is looking for more. He's looking for a toss back onto Yamate. They're not going to be able to get it, but to try and steal it, but they're not within range. This is where you'd love to be at that Roshan pit as Mosin to be able to hook shot in and try to at least take the Aegis away. They're just going to keep going. There's no reason to stop. Down to the bot lane. They see Yamate. Mel going to be able to get the X off with the Torrent boat once again. And the Spirit Vessel to make things even worse. There's your Bloodrite out from KB and Barry. He kind of stares at his carry for a second, but realizes there's not much he can do. He'll go for a TB play and we'll make it out. Tims almost got him, but not quite.
No, I haven't. What was it?
He made a Slark video, John.
Oh.
Yeah, just rush hags apparently, according to Slasher.
Well, we've seen that build up for a while. You know, the extra jumps are still pretty nice to have. And of course, with the aggression, they play it really tight in although.
Well, the run of Atos again, proving to be great. Burrow Strike not going to connect DDZ, and a boat's coming. They don't connect though. DDZ still in danger. Gabby now on top. He doesn't have waveform available. He's trying to Burrow Strike away, but it was on cooldown. Still the 4-staff now. Gonna protect. There's an avalanche up from Barry trying to save. Now the TP away with the waveform, and they can't cancel. They're gonna turn back around, however, and punish Barry on the Rubik. Barry really was the reason why that Morphling was able to waveform away like that, Johnny.
Oh yeah, they're finding ways to stay alive, but TNC is still winning out in these trades. That tier 2 tower has lived a lot longer than you'd expect, but they're going on Yamate.
Well, he's got a BKB up. That's a 9-second charge being expended here. Back onto KB, but there's no damage. Call down. Hook shot. Mosin, he's going to try. Candyloon to Burrow Strike in, but KP is taking 0 damage here. Now he's taking a bit. Another Burrow Strike out, but the heals are starting to come in. KP, he's still alive, but they do kill off Tims. Now the cavalry comes in, a 3-man Torrent out from Mel, and they're going to turn this one back around. There's Yamate gone. Now the boat's flying in. Candyloon, he'll survive, but Mosin will not on the clock, and now Candy's gone. DDZ trying to get out of there, but he's been ruptured up and he's got nowhere to go. 4-staff though from Barry will again save him, but the X back from Mel will bring him back. Still waveform now going to be out, but Gabby does get the pounce off in time. He adaptive strikes away, looking for a burrow, can't get it. Still DDZ, no, he will go down to KP this time around. And they look to set up for that tier 3 top tower, TNC.
You're seeing Barry really just try to put that work in with a 4-staff, just buying time for new esports. It's never enough time though. They do stall out, the Aegis is gone, but nothing to stop this push.
Hookshot Mosin trying to protect his Rubik, gets a nice cogs off, but it may cost him his life. Yamate is going to come in with the flat cannon. Now Burrow Strike, Gabby's still alive, goes into the Shadow Dance and does take out Mosin. Onto Yamate. Torrent is there with the vessel. BKB going to be forced out, and they just want to retreat out of here, TNC.
So TNC, they do manage to clear that tier 3. They're just going to back off. They reset. You know, they lost the Aegis by expiry. No, they smoke up. Going to pull a sneaky one.
Well, they know how strong they are right now. They're 15k ahead. By the way, did I say 36? I meant about 130 stolen agi. Oren is going to be there with a rupture toss back onto Yamatane. He has no BKB. Mosen going to try and hook shot in, but the boat going to connect for a second there. Gabby going to pounce in after this clockwork. The Burrow Strike will not connect onto Gabby once again, and that pounce duration making it very hard for Mosen to be able to get out of there. And Gabby just pounces again. He's got so many stacks of Essence Shift. Barry will go down now. A triple kill out for Gabby. The X back out onto DDZ now. He's looking for an Ultra, but there's a Burrow Strike and an Epicenter. It's just not going to be enough. DDZ so close to dying, but Gabby will leave him be. He won't finish him off. Into the fountain for Gabby. Back to Candyloon now. Burrow Strike away from Candyloon, however. Back in we go. Tim's avalanche toss on Barry, but there's a Burrow Strike from DDZ. Still Gabby now. Going to try for the pounce. Does miss. Will turn back around onto Mosen. Mosen needs to run back home, and he will. But at the Raxes, they're going after Armel and KP. KP does go down. Armel, he's a bit of a tankier target. They'll go back onto Gabby with the Burrow Strike. Yamate now pops the BKB. Another Burrow from DDZ. Armel does finally die. Now Mosen. Hook shots in. Back onto our Slug. But can they kill Gabby? They have so many stuns. They can finally get the Aegis. In fact, never mind. That wasn't an Aegis. That was his actual life. Oh boy.
Gonna feel nice about that. From a 15k lead to 11k for TNC. A little bit of a claw back there for new esports. They are starting to do work. DDZ is dancing around with his Morphling. He's actually doing spectacularly well despite being behind earlier on. He has caught up.
Avalanche toss out from Tim's, but Candy is going to Burrow Strike in. Still March is around the corner with the mech. No Hand of God yet, however. Tim's, Burrow Striked again. There's your Hand of God coming out. He's still alive. Mosen now going to be in a bit of danger and looks like he is going to die as KB cancels off Yamate's TP. Just leaves him there as he turns back around onto Mosen. Can't quite finish the job, but they do get Yamate. And that's the big one.
And we were talking about TNC not having defensive items. DDZ went pretty deep in offense as well. There's a smoke now from new esports. You know the Roche is happening.
They've got such a lineup that deals with the Roshan pit so well. They've got to take this fight. They've got double Burrow Strike. They've got call down. They've got hook shots. But unless Yamate gets caught like this, he could be in danger. They'll Burrow Strike in. Scythe Device is out on the Morphling. Now the boat to fly out. TNC, they're going to try and focus down DDZ, and it looks like they've almost got him, but he is still alive. No, Tim's. He'll finish the job off. DDZ is down, and that is your main source of damage. And even Yamate now being left alone to die. And TNC, they're going to rush back for the Roshan.
They do have buybacks at least on DDZ, so if they need it for the high ground, they're going to be able to have it. But look at this, even Tim's now has an E-Blade up, and that just makes it harder to fight in here.
Well, KP, he just forced the buyback by himself. He's going to dive for it. Gabby's going to rush in now. Blood rights everywhere. But, yeah, slowly defending this new esports. Tim's looking for a toss back, does get Burrow Striked up, but is X'd away. Now DDZ jumping in with his own stun, but Gabby will go straight after Barry in the back lines. They'll use him up. Barry's still in a lot of danger here and will go down. Now Gabby can turn back around and go for some more. They spot out Yamate. Armel gets the Scythe Device off into the X-Torrent boat, but the BKB is there in time, and Mosen does hook shot in, but Gabby's not done. Still after Yamate, nobody's helping this gyrocopter out. He is just falling slowly but surely, and Gabby does end up killing him. DDZ trying to control the rest of the team by himself, but he just can't do it. In fact, he is torrented up now. But with that Sandstorm, he will be okay.
Yeah, nothing stopping them here. They've still got Ruptures up in KP. They don't have the Hand of God, but they're still fairly tanky on this end for TNC. They know they've got the numbers advantage.
KP, Rupture out on Candy. They won't waste their time. No, they will. Avalanche toss onto Barry without buyback. So that's your Rubik gone for 50, and now Gabby going on to DDZ. DDZ going to get some damage out. Gabby's still willing to go on to Candy. Bloodright is out on Mosen. Candy will be able to just get out of there. TNC back at it. Into the mid-racks, but they may force themselves to back off as Yamate is respawning, or maybe not. Tim's again with the X into the avalanche toss. Will go after Candy. Doesn't quite finish him, but they do now have the mid-racks. Mosen getting run of A tossed up by KP. Gabby looking to go in after this clockwork and does get a very nice bash. Still, the Burrow Strike going to help out. Gabby is very low, but still has the Aegis. Another Burrow Strike, but they've lost Mosen. Now back onto the Morphling. They got the toss off with the Vessel, but he will wait for him in time. Back to Candy Loon, trying to force stuff out of there, but it looks like he is gone, and now the pounce up from Gabby, not going to be enough to hold down the Morph. But they got the mid-racks, and I believe that'll be enough. Aegis still in... No, it did expire. So Gabby not willing to risk anything now, but March, he's been lifted up. Burrow Strike in, double Burrow Strike in fact onto KP, but Tims will toss him out. Still the adaptive strike will follow. March also gone. New Esports, this could be their team fight. They're just going to be wary of Gabby in his own positioning, or maybe not. They'll get a Burrow Strike off, back onto Tims, but now they'll turn back around with the Hex out on the Morphling. He's falling very, very low, but the Burrow Strike out from Candy Loon, buying more time. Gabby will eat the cheese, trying to fight back. No, he's trying to retreat now, and he will just pounce away with the Aghanim Scepter, but Candy looking for another stun out, will go after Armel, while Gabby, he does reset, going back in after DDZ. Armel's still alive, but there are boats flying everywhere. It's a boat fleet, in fact. Burrow Strike back onto Gabby. He does pop the Shadow Dance. Back onto Yamate now, but he's got to pounce out of there. Or does he? He resets again. Gabby's not done. He did see Gary for a sec, or Barry, I meant to say, for a second. But they do. I don't believe you can afford to let this one go. You need to go for the fight if you're New Esports. They have smoked up, but Tims is going to be X'd in, Avalanche and X back, and that's buying more time for Gabby, but he's going to get out of the pit and go for the team fight. Onto Yamate, Candy. Doesn't connect with the Burrow. Nice pounce out from Gabby. Does connect onto the Gyrocopter, but Mosen gonna push him back with the Cogs. Now DDZ back in, but he's in a bit of danger as Gabby has the Abyssal Blade. Still trying to go after KB now. Hook shot back in from Mosen. Armel gets the X off of the side. The Vice is looking bad for our Morphling, but he does Burrow Strike. No, DDZ, he will die mid-Burrow Strike. Now the Epi out from Candy, but it does nothing. And Yamate has been caught, and they call it GG, well played. TNC at 49.5 minutes in will take game number 1.
All right, it's a hard-fought victory for TNC and New Esports, putting up a valiant fight with their draft. It was a slow start for them. They found a bounce back mid-game.
I do love the DDZ Storm into the Arc Warden of Gabby, right? Because now you've got a way, if you spot out the real Arc Warden, you just zip in, take him out. Doesn't really care for your magnetic field and crap like that if you're the Storm Spirit.
So you don't have a way of cleanly canceling that Icarus dive, not like if you had, say, a Nyx or a Clockwork. Fairly easy to just zip in and out. The big thing here is that Gabby's farm has been kept in check relatively well, although
it does end up getting the first blood there onto Mosen. Well, won't have a chance to try and take that haste rune away, so DDZ should get a full bottle here. And does. In fact, he's going to go after Armel. He'll try for the rush. Does he want to dive? He is going to try for this. Tim still around, does get the disarm off in time. Armel survive, but DDZ, he's not done with that haste rune. Going after Tims now. A dive in from Barry. They'll get the Pango, but Barry does die to the tier 1. Still DDZ is able to get both. In fact, unfortunately for DDZ, the creeps ended up getting Armel. It's all he can do, but he's going to be 2 levels behind now. He's going to try for the Doom attempt as soon as he hits that 6 mark, but none of the creeps are dying. He'll devour, goes for the Doom. The zip was not there in time, but immediate rotations out from Mosen. It is a long TP, however, and they will be able to clean up this storm. Mosen can't go for the deny either, as the attack animation on Jakiro is just so bad. March, meanwhile, top lane, also going to die here on the Venge. Barry does get hit by the Spark Wraith and is going to die. That is unfortunate, but a great little play out from Gabby.
They have not kept that Arc Warden in check. That's one issue for New Esports. Gabby is still building up really fast, and he's getting all the space he wants from TNC.
March, gonna run into Barry, gets the stun off. Barry does have the Icarus dive. He's just waiting it out and getting some Fire Spirits in. Back onto Armel, who's going to get Vortex. Now the Sunray out. Armel's in big, big trouble. Yamate coming in with the Chrono. Won't commit quite yet because they won't need it perhaps, as Armel is very, very low.
What?
One more hit would do it, but they can reach in the end. The Spear is going to be there from Candy. Yamate does make the right decision by holding on to the Chrono.
It reminds me,
Rotation now. Have that conversation in a second, John. There's a bit of a smoke going on here down at the bot lane. Candy Loon has the arena, is going to run into KP and gets the spear off. March doesn't have swap yet. He's just off level 6, so KP's on his own. He'll get a Rupture out with a Blood Right, but it's not going to help. Now March getting dived on by Barry, but it looks like he will be fine to walk himself out. Meanwhile, top lane, Mosen also caught out here. Looks like he will drop to Armel. Still a very positive trade, however, for New Esports.
Yeah, they're just finding the better end of the stick here in every single engagement. Getting the bigger heroes out. So KP's timing is going to be delayed. He's rushing a pipe.
March is in a bit of danger here. But Gabby will be there to save him. Still, he does die out to the Fire Spirits, but Barry will trade his own life away for that. Gabby will be the one to take it. Candy gonna go back in. Yamate has the Chrono, does commit, catching out the Arc Warden. Now DDZ going back in, focusing down Gabby, and they do get the kill. Mel does commit the Doom back onto the Faceless Void. Gabby, or rather KP, gonna block him off in the Blood Right. They do kill him off. Now Tim scouting out for more, but they'll turn back around onto this Pangolier. KP can't really help out here. Does eventually get the Blood Right off, but DDZ, he'll just keep going onto this Bloodseeker with the Sunray out. Ice Path, however, won't land. They are out of mana on their Storm. That'll be it.
So New Esports are smoking up to find another opportunity.
The beauty of this draft from New Esports is they don't need the Chrono to be up every time because they can still go with the arena. In fact, Gabby is going to get spotted now by DDZ, and they don't even need the Egg Arena. They just needed a nice little spear out, and now perhaps they could have used the arena as March is there with Tim's. Goes for the roll. Armel looking to take that Mars down, but couldn't quite finish the job off. Now March is set to drop in the Ice Path. He's also going to connect on KP. New Esports. Just great little engagements out from this Radiant side and TNC Predator. Speaking of Blinks, Candy Loon has one on the way.
That's going to be a big one. Allows them to set the arena really well. One thing for TNC is that they've got 6 in March. They can play that swap.
Oh, he's got the Orchid John. DDZ has spotted out Gabby and gets his courier as well, rather KP's courier. Rolling Thunder is out from Tim's onto the Phoenix, so they get one, and they find another. Ooh. Great Chrono, great arena out from the side of New Esports. They're trying to focus down KP on that Bloodseeker. Here comes DDZ once again, zipping in and just cleaning up. There's your egg being thrown out. Armel, can he get himself out? I don't really think so. Oh, he can, just barely, but the Icarus time and the Sunray not going to be enough. He still manages to blink out. Then I'm not sure if the view was caught, John, but it was just right there on my ping. Just spotting out Gabby, and March does eventually get the D-Ward out now. They're going to try and make a play onto Yamate. Walks away. Spark rates to fly out. Mel even jumping in, and Yamate still alive with another time walk. Sunray is there, but March will swap him back in. Yamate cannot get out of this one. Does end up going down.
There are still some deep wards here from New Esports. A really nice one. Watching that corridor on the top jungle. But you're not safe. It's never going to be safe when you're playing against a Storm on a roll like this.
Well, luckily for TNC, they do at least take the Arcane Rune away from that top lane. But speaking of that top lane, Armel's been jumped. DDZ zipping in all the way from that tier 1 top tower. Down fast. They're trying, but Candy Loon is blocking the pathing. Still very low March. Can he get some vision here? Blood Right is going to give it, but the Ice Path not going to allow him to get a swap off in time. Still, they could deny the Aegis straight away, but a great egg out protecting this Storm, and he is able to zip out. He'll be just fine. They can't get the Aegis off him. Candy does get March. Barry going down on the Phoenix. They will leave Mosen on the Jakiro to also die. That is both your supports going down, but it's still considered a pretty big win here for New Esports. Watch your mouth, Jonathan. How dare you? DDZ going up to KB now, and it's going to be another easy pick-off. Does have the Hood of Defiance, but it is not helping as much as he would like. In fact, that was the full pipe.
Maybe a BKB, just to ensure that you won't get silenced, although, or a Linken's to prevent the Doom. Got a lot of ways to break that, and DDZ has been pretty on point anyway, so more offense is always nice to jump in.
Lane does get the Shadow Amulet off, but there is going to be a Sentry Ward there from Mosin. 5 assists on this Storm Spirit. He's even got the Nether Shawl to amplify some magic damage for himself, which is always a nice little added bonus, and they have found another, Armel. Getting speared in the arena with a macro and Chrono dropped it. They just leave him there for a second. Now going back in, but the disarms and mech is out. Armel, he'll survive, and he'll get the Doom out to boot. Now with the stun, does he get out of here? He does. Yamate the one to fall, but here comes DDZ, missing the zip, still going after Armel in the tier 3 tower. Gabby trying to save, but the magnetic field is not enough. DDZ now, he is out of mana. It's like he will lose the Aegis. Should be able to zip out in time unless this Blood Right is timed perfectly, and it is. And they will be able to get him. Nice tip to KP as he does time it just on point. Does have that Bloodstone up, by the way.
Radiant's top tower.
Even Tim's going to be around to join him. They have not realized TNC are there. Oh, no, Tim's. He does get spotted out by DZD, but Armel does jump in with the stun and the Doom out on the Storm, but they have lost Tim's. Still going after this Storm Spirit. The Sunray going to heal him up a little bit. Gabby moving in with March. Storm falling very low, but now the egg going to be committed, but everything's going to get bursted down. Chrono is expended, but it is not great. They do at least get Armel as a trade, but Yamate now needs to get out of there. Gabby is dealing way too much damage, and he does go down a triple, maybe even an ultra. No. March will steal the ultra kill away from Gabby. But another great team fight out off the back of that Doom from Armel.
It's a strange one, you know, it's very clutch, at the same time very annoying still. TNC, this is when that split push comes into play. Gabby's just tossing his doubles down bot every single time. Armel's playing with Yamate to get the Doom off.
Does get the Doom off. Candy Loon is there to try and help, but Armel pops the BKB. Now DDZ gonna zip in, but Tims is out with Gabby with the Tempest double. They drop the arena. Armel is still focusing down this void, and he's trapped in the tree line now, just behind a creep wave. Even DDZ going down to Gabby on the Arc Warden, and now even Mosin. Gonna be chased on the Jakiro, and he has nowhere to go but down. He's gone. TNC, they are out of control, John. They might just go high ground. They're going to get the bot racks for free, and they might even just move mid. There's really nothing to stop them at the moment. Nice little tier 2 tower. Armel already getting started. Getting ready for the Roshan play here from TNC. Of course, you have a lot of Roshan potential and a lot of counterfight from New Esports with their draft in that Roshan pit, unless you get picked off, which Gabby does send the Tempest double in and just kills off Mosin. They want to take over the triangle and rush the Roshan pit, I believe. You are going to scan the Roshan pit, but it's just Armel walking through, and that baits them back in now, so KB can rush for a rupture onto this void. Yamate forced to BKB, but gets doomed up. He can't Chrono, but they've doomed each other thanks to that Lotus Orb. Still, they'll go back after Armel. Now Tim's falling low, but doesn't die quite yet. Gabby is just ripping everyone apart. He goes for another now onto Candy Loon, and Candy, well, he'll be all right for now, but Barry will not be. Anyone that walks in Gabby's way is just gone.
Yeah, it's not going to stop them. They don't have buyback in the void. They need a Chrono to stop the push. They can try clearing out the creeps, but there's a siege creep. That's not going to die to this.
It's not, and now the Hex comes out once again onto our Jakiro. Mosin is pretty low. DDZ trying to go after March, but can't even kill him off. They've got way too much sustain with the pipe, with the Greaves. Even with that Glimmer Cape, and now with Vladmir's offering on March. Man, look at Gabby's net worth. He's 28k. Literally 13,000 gold ahead of the Storm right now.
They've got the Aegis up into the high ground. How do you go in with a Chrono? You need a Chrono Mac Egg to work. Can you find that opening here if you're new esports?
We're gonna find out soon. Oh, Barry's been hexed. He can't die like this. Barry needs to egg. Maybe no, he'll hold out with the Lotus Orb, but he's going to go down to Gabby anyway. Now the arena will be dropped. They're going to try with the Chrono out, focusing down March. There's one down. Now back on to KP, but KP will survive for now as Gabby, keeping him safe. Mel will jump back in with a stun, and it looks like Mosen about to fall with Candy Loon, and they both go down. Candy, he'll buy back. DDZ. Still just zipping through the whole team of TNC, and they don't care.
Now it's Mega Creeps out. They don't have Chrono. Gonna be very hard pressed fight if they do hold out for the defense here.
More towers under siege. Gabby not paying attention to anything else as we do have a Doom out on our Void now. And that is going to be another dead Void. Now Arena being dropped onto KP, but there's no follow-up. DDZ, he's going to try it, but they call the GG. New Esports, understanding how far behind they are now, really have no chance left in all this, and they do just call it. And that'll be TNC getting a 2-0 victory for their series today over New Esports.
Yeah, really excellent performance from TNC and New Esports. They had a lot of promise from yesterday. They upset Fnatic in a very spectacular series.